So, tell me something terrible. We need to rally. How are you? Are you
I'm
rallied?
Fine. I'm rallied. Are you rallied?
I've had...
Are we still sitting 6 feet apart?
Oh,
I think we are. I think that's the problem.
that's not a problem.
Okay, fine.
Do you want to be closer?
No, fuck you.
Contaminate our mics?
Get away from me.
Done. I've had more alcohol today than carbs.
Whoops.
What could go wrong?
Everything.
What's your story about?
Oh, hi. I'm Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are.
My story is about mobsters.
Great. I love mobsters.
Yep, gangsters.
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 Okay.
Okay. Mafia.
Mafia? Mm-hmm. All right. Are we doing?
Okay.
We're not doing Capone, right?
No.
Okay.
No. Not yet.
Okay.
So.
Do you remember when we were doing that crossword the other day and there was a clue about the Goodfellas and neither of us knew it?
Uh-huh.
Is that where this came from? Is that legitimately?
I was researching
Oh my God.
it. Yeah.
And you still didn't know? Oh,
I didn't
good.
know how to spell De Niro. To be fair, it was plural De Niro.
It wasn't.
It was De Niro.
It wasn't Robert.
No, I knew it was De Niro. No, it was Robert De Niro.
Do you want to have confession time real quick?
I've never seen Goodfellas.
I've not either. And this was on a separate yet related note about movies that I'm ashamed I haven't seen. I've never
add it to the list.
I've never seen all of The Shining.
I haven't either.
I think, have we talked about this on this podcast?
Maybe.
Anyway, I was like, you're going to talk about
haven't.
Goodfellas? And I saw another clip from The Shining on TikTok or whatever the fuck the other day. And I was like, I should probably watch that movie. While I had COVID, I watched the first 1.5 Indiana Jones because I'd never seen them either. So I feel so cultured.
So cultured.
I've had...
I watched 10 minutes of The Shining and went, this is not what the book was about, and shut it off. Because I'd have
The
always
worst.
been
The
that
worst.
asshole.
I can't take anything as a separate entity.
Absolutely not.
Anyway,
The Shining, the books, is just so good.
is it?
Yeah.
Is that Stephen King?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we have it.
He likes to name books the word.
He does.
Don't peruse our library right now. We got a podcast to record.
Yep. There's the stand
Welcome
over
back.
there, too.
I know. I can see a shit. Stop turning
And
around.
the Dark Tower.
Your mic's
and the
this way.
regulators.
Yeah. And the Tommy Knockers, which I've read the first 100 pages of.
You got more than me.
Took the AR test, passed it enough to get my points, and then I moved on with life.
Nice.
The dog's got cataracts, and that's literally the only fucking thing I can tell you about the Tommy Knockers. I don't know anything else about that book.
I've never read it, and I've owned that
If
book
you
for a
read
decade.
it, the dog has cataracts, and that's all the spoilers I can give you because that's all I fucking remember. Anyway, okay.
It's the one book you read outside of the high school mandatory reading.
I didn't read it. I read the first 2 chapters.
And you were like, close enough.
The dog has cataracts.
Plot twist. It's a cat.
I should start reading that, and I'm going to read the first chapter so confidently, and then they're not ever going to mention a dog or cataracts, and I'm like, the fuck book did I read? Anyway. And knowing my 16, 17-year-old self, I read that book because it had the word knockers in it.
100%.
Anyway, I still don't even know what a Tommy knocker is because I never finished the book. What is going past our house right now?
Probably a truck to go restore somebody's power.
I don't know if the mics picked that up, but it sounded like a semi pulling a semi.
Yeah.
All right, go about your business.
Okay, so.
Mobsters, gangsters, Goodfellas.
German words incoming. Didn't
Okay.
look up this one either.
We didn't drink any German drinks tonight.
No. So, this is the Lufthansa
Okay.
airport.
Oh, okay. Not worried about the airport's pronunciation.
It was born out of a merger of 2 of the largest airlines in Europe pre-World War I think.
I was going to ask
it
if
said
you.
pre-war.
I was going to ask if you mentioned a year yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
And this is this airport's located inside of Cologne, Germany, and it soon grew capable of international flights.
Okay.
By the time our story unfolds, which is in 1978.
Post World War II.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just flexing my history muscles over here.
Anyway,
Don't ask me what year exactly it ended. That's post World War II.
Post World War II.
Yeah.
Panic, panic, panic. Was it 46? Did it end in 45 or 46?
I said, I don't know what year exactly it ended. Yeah, if you told me, 40s, whatever. I don't know when V-Day was. Do you? Okay, good.
It's VE Day and D Day, but yeah.
Whatever.
We looked it up like literally a week ago. Did I retain that information? Nah.
Did we?
I looked it up with Lil.
I was going to say we didn't.
That kid loves history.
Okay. Look at us go. We're thriving.
Thriving.
Some 30-ish years past VE Day, what does the E stand for?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Scott, you need to focus. You're distracting me.
Sorry. You're like, hold on. Pre-show notes. She goes, this one's short. I was like, awesome. I don't have the attention span for a long one. And then what do I do?
You even have an attention span for 2 seconds.
We're 6 minutes in and you've read a sentence.
So anyway,
thriving.
This
German airport. Yep.
grew to be very responsible.
Responsible?
Yes. They had a big responsibility.
Took care of all their children.
No. The Lufthansa airport was responsible for flying U.S. dollars that were exchanged for German currency by either tourists or military personnel.
Are German currencies francs?
Sure.
I don't know. That's just what was in my brain.
They might be francs.
Nah, so you say that and it sounds French. It sounds French. Anyway. Look, God. We should anyways together.
I hate you so much. So, they were in charge of taking U.S. money back to the U.S.
This is a symposium on alcohol's effect on the keto diet for a type 1 diabetic. Anyway, so proceed with your story.
He's now studying himself. So anyway, these flights, they regularly landed.
I'm a scientist, that's what we do.
Yes. So these flights regularly landed at the JFK International Airport in New York City, where unmarked, untraceable funds, usually in the forms of $50 to $100 bills, were kept in a sealed vault until the money could be picked up and transported via armored truck to the National Treasury.
Okay, from Germany to JFK to a National Treasury.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it's time for the ultimate game of telephone.
Okay.
Louis Werner was a gambling man who worked as a cargo supervisor for the JFK International Airport. Okay. Werner and a coworker named Peter Grunewald decided that this would be an easy opportunity to get rich and an opportunity to erase the $20,000 debt that Louis had owed his bookie Martin Krugman.
Okay.
So it was Peter's job to find someone fit enough to carry out their plan, but he was taking too long asking people around the airport bar scene if they were interested in a robbery.
That's where you find very responsible humans.
Yep.
Okay. They didn't have Indeed back then.
So Lou decided to take it in his own hands and took it upon himself to ask his bookie, Martin Krugman, if he knew someone that would be interested in upwards of $2 million up for an easy grab.
I bet you he'd find somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So eventually Martin Krugman told a man named Henry Hill. Henry was born to a poor Irish father and a Sicilian woman. Sicilian. Italian and Sicily.
Sicilian is a prescription you take. Yeah.
Isn't that what you have to give yourself a shot for the shugs?
Yeah. That's close.
Sicilian?
Yeah.
So he was born to a poor Irish father and a Sicilian woman. And from the age of 12, he dreamed of being...
This man knew carbohydrates like the back of his hands.
Yes. So by the age of 12, he dreamed of being in the New York Mafia.
That's a weird dream.
Uh-huh.
Was it glamorized back then and like
Yeah,
media?
This is the 30s and 40s and stuff at this point.
Yeah, we're...
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
The Prohibition's fresh out, you know...
Yeah, Tommy guns are all the rage.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
To go with the Tommy knockers.
Yes.
So, because he was only half Italian, he would never actually be able to crawl his way, like, officially, like, up the ranks to become a member of the crime family, but that didn't stop him from starting at a low-level drug trafficker.
It's good to know they segregated also within the crime family.
Oh, yeah, they're Irish. Irish are the only white people that are allowed to be
half
like...
Italian.
Yeah. Well, the Irish people were, like, super discriminated against. They're the only white people that are allowed to, you know, be told that they were being racist, like people were being racist toward them.
Okay.
Because Irish people apparently are, it's because they're pagans, a bunch of heathens, no one likes them.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll take your word for it.
You didn't know that? Oh yeah, it's bad.
The Irish have it worse than the Jews?
No, not worse than the Jews. You're right. Well, yeah, no, you're right. The Jews and the Irish.
I was going to say, I haven't heard of well...
No, you're right.
No, I'm going to not say any.
Don't know any Irish Jews. Jews and Irish are the only white people that are allowed to say that people were racist against them.
I was going to say, I don't know of any Irish Holocaust, but I'm sure that there's Irish, things similar, just not as...
Yeah, the potato famine.
Yeah.
Do you know why the potato famine is the potato famine? Not because it was because that's the only thing they had to eat because the British government was literally starving them.
Yes, it's just not as I don't like the word famous or it's not as well documented as Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anyway, about your business.
So anyway, I would like to do the potato famine one of these days.
Would you?
Yeah.
Are you gonna eat French fries while we do it?
Yes. Non-rotten French fries. So anyway, he joined the Mafia. He
which were on Henry Hill?
Yes, Henry Hill.
Sorry, you threw 3 names at me. I was just making sure I knew.
There's going to be a lot of names.
And somebody interrupted you.
It's asshole.
Henry Hill.
So Henry Hill joins the Mafia. Can't become an official member of the crime family, but he's still a very well they like this guy. He's part of the
I've seen The Departed.
Yeah. Great movie. Spoiler, no one lives. It's amazing.
Oh, no. Tim Wahlberg does.
Tim Wahlberg, you're right.
And then he goes on to create Wahlburgers. Sorry. And get super jacked.
So anyway, he was able to crawl his way up the ranks with starting at a low-level drug trafficking and then running errands for mob bosses like Vario and his crew. And then he worked his way up to more serious crimes. His career with we just looked this up.
Did we?
Was it the Lokisi?
Something like that.
The Lokisi family. Lucchese? Doesn't matter.
Keep saying it.
This family, it's getting better. It was his career with that crime syndicate spanned 3 decades. Okay. So when Henry Hill heard about this potential money, honeypot, he jumped at the opportunity, knowing it was going to be easy because Lou and Peter had already robbed Lufthansa of $22,000 of foreign currency 2 years prior in 1976.
So why didn't he use that to pay off his debt?
Because he's a gambler. He'd accrued that much more debt in the 2 years since.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. Good thing that's legal now.
Yep. So Henry reluctantly asked a friend of his and a member of the Lucchese family,
Lucky Cheeses.
Lucky Cheeses family, that he knew would want to do the job. Okay. So he asked this guy named Jimmy the Gent Burke.
It's a good nickname.
Yeah. He was known as the Gent because he would walk around the neighborhood handing out wads of cash.
That seems like bad business practice, but okay.
He's a big fan of murder, so,
It's the stuff he took off of dead people.
Yeah. So Burke, after some consideration, because he had the problem with Martin, trust issues with Martin Krugman, he finally decided that the opportunity was too good to pass up. So the Lucky Cheese family is one of the 5 original families of the American... Yes, the Luccheses. Nope, the Lucky Cheeses. So the Lucky Cheese family is one of the original 5 families of the American Mafia. And the founding fathers of the family, the ones who cut their quote-unquote organized crime teeth during the Prohibition, they knew the best way to keep out of reach of the FBI was to keep their heads down and stay out of the media. And then the Lufthansa heist happened.
All right.
So Burke has been touted as the mastermind behind the plan. Henry told Burke of the contact he had inside JFK Airport when he was released from prison to a halfway house in the fall of 1978. Henry thought it would be a great welcome home present for Burke to do this inside job.
Okay.
So he made sure to tell Burke of the giant sum of money before mentioning that their contact was a man he hadn't trusted since the early 70s. Okay. Yeah. So he had a
small asterisk.
Yeah. And he thought about it for a week. And he agreed. And so he started recruiting people. Okay. So first up was another mobster that Burke was living in the halfway house with after he got out of prison.
All right.
His name is Tommy DeSimone. The pair started planning the heist at a restaurant that Burke owned called Roberts, because there's simply not enough names in this stupid story.
I was gonna say, I need a a family tree.
Yeah, flow chart, please.
There we go.
So he then called on a man named Joe Manry, who is also known as Joe Buddha, to go over the plan that Lou had supplied. Lou's the inside guy.
Yep, we started with Lou and another guy.
Lou and Henry.
Henry. No, I thought that was another
Lou and
guy.
Peter.
Okay, good.
Peter
Yep.
sucked a big D and wasn't good at his job. So then he told Mark, who then told...
Got Henry.
Yeah, oh, sorry, not Mark. He told Martin, who told Henry, who told Burke, who then told Tommy DeSimones, who then told Joe Buddha.
Okay.
And they started recruiting.
Yep.
So
This is like Ocean's 11, but worse.
Yes.
Not worse. Ocean's 11 was good, but Ocean's 11, but bad.
I told you this is the ultimate game of telephone.
Terrific.
So they recruited Tommy DeSimones and Joe Buddha to be armed, along with two other men named Angelo Seppi, who just also got out of jail for robbery, and Anthony Rodriguez, who is Seppi's ex-brother-in-law, who had got out of jail for assaulting a cop.
Great. Okay.
I figured out why Americans love mobsters. The tea is juicy. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much gossip, there's so much drama.
Yeah,
It is
it's a
like
reality
real
show.
life. Yeah, it is like it's the original reality show,
Yeah.
and I think this is why America was like mobsters, and they just had so much money they were walking around giving it to the poor people in our
Yeah.
country, even though we're supposed to be the richest country in the world, has a lot of poor people. So I get it.
The real mobsters of New York.
Yes.
Is this New York?
Yes.
Okay.
So the two were pumped.
Which two?
The
Joe Buddha.
Yeah, Joe Buddha and John, all of them. Anyway, all of them were excited.
Okay.
And
Let's all get excited.
so pumped for this money.
Seven
This
happy
$2 million.
mobsters. 7 happy mobsters.
And the plan was nearly set by the middle of oh my gosh, I
month.
lost my spot.
February.
In the middle of not February, November.
Okay.
And they brought in more people. So the crew.
We needed more names.
Yes, we needed more names.
For the love of God, do not tell me more names. And their nicknames.
So there's a man that
Tommy
Burke.
the Pants Costanza.
So there's a man that Burke met while in prison named Fat Louis Cafora.
Of course there is. His album drops in August of that year.
And Paola Lacrosti, who's an Italian sharpshooter who, quote, used to tell people that he was in the air conditioning business because he put holes in people.
What?
Yep.
That's a terrible joke.
Yep.
It could have said he's a Swiss cheesemaker.
Nope.
Nope, he's an air conditioning business.
Yep.
Okay. All right, sharpshooter named Paolo.
Paolo. And then lastly, Burke brought in his son, Frank.
No nickname?
Nope,
just Burke's son, Frank. Okay.
And lastly, they needed someone to get rid of the evidence.
Okay.
So that fell to a man named Parnell
Sticky fingers.
Stacks
Okay, good.
Edwards.
Okay.
He was a credit card scammer.
All right.
His job was to take their getaway
Credit card
van.
scanner in 1978.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Where they would just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's the sound it makes when you make a carbon copy of someone's credit card, by the way.
Yes.
For all you kids out there.
Yeah, I think women were.
I wasn't alive in the
I think
70s. But.
credit cards were around for, through the 50s, ish. I don't really know exactly when they started, but in I think 76 or 78. Oh, right around now is when women were finally allowed to get a bank account without their husbands.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, credit card.
Is that what this is about?
No.
Okay, good. I didn't think it was going to take that twist.
No.
Right.
So
I'm just concerned about Frank's safety.
So Parnell Stacks Edward.
Uh-huh. Credit card scammer.
Stacks, yes. His job was to take their getaway van to Jersey and have it scrapped and destroying the van and any evidence inside.
Seems simple enough. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So by December, everything was in place, and all they needed was the word from Lou Werner that they could get started.
Okay.
And so, on December 11th, 1978, at 3:12 a.m., the crew arrived at the JFK International Airport in a black Ecoline van and a black Oldsmobile type car of some sort.
Sedans.
Yep.
Hatchbacks and no.
Yes, they can fit more mobsters in the hatchbacks.
It's like a fucking clown car of
Yes.
mobsters. Just guys in zoot suits.
Yep. Big shoulder pads, pinstripes.
And they get out like WWE stars with entrance musics and they say their nicknames. I'm Stax Edwards.
They did have ski masks on.
Did they?
Yes.
I mean, it's November in New York, so.
Mostly out of necessity.
Ski mask. Like someone's going to take a picture of them.
So security spotted the van pulling around to the cargo hold building 261 and went to investigate the suspicious behavior. The guard walked up to the
That's
van.
where the Sorcerer's Stone's kept.
Yep. So the guards walked up to the van and was quickly pistol whipped and taken hostage. He got thrown in the van and then he was forced to deactivate the gate alarm.
Okay.
And then a few minutes later, a curious employee poked his head outside to investigate the cause of all this noise, and he was met by 6 armed men in black ski masks. He was handcuffed and forced to take the men down the labyrinth of corridors to the high security area where his fellow employees were either working or on their lunch breaks.
Okay.
Everyone was rounded up, bound with duct tape, and secured in the break room. A man named Rudy Eric.
Okay.
He was the night shift cargo traffic manager. He was lured up to the cafeteria where he was then forced to open the double-door bank vault for the armed robbers. So the vault required one set of doors to be shut before the second set of doors were to be opened because an alarm would go off.
Like an aviary.
Like an aviary, but for money.
Yeah. Don't want the birds getting out.
And this is a fact that the robbers knew, so they made sure that he'd shut the first door, which is the first indication that this was an inside job.
Oh, okay.
And after the heist, several police officers and the FBI informants ratted on Jimmy Burke and his crew. So,
they like knew who these guys were?
Yeah, they knew who they were. So at 4:21 a.m., the crew removed 72 15-pound cartons of untraceable money from the airport vault,
Okay.
loaded up the van, and by 4:22 a.m., the van and the matching getaway car pulled out of the airport. Not a single
1 minute later?
Yeah, not a single person died.
There's silver linings here.
It took 46 minutes
to do all this?
to do all of that.
Okay.
And per the gunman's orders, the Port Authority police weren't called until 4:30 a.m. So it gave them
Time to get away.
So the gangsters drove to meet Burke at a repair shop in Carnegie, Brooklyn, where the boxes were removed and the van, removed from the van and split between 2 cars, one holding Burke and his son, and the other holding Buddha, McMohan, DeSimone, and Sepe. The plan was to split the estimated $2 million anywhere between $10,000 to $50,000, depending on how extensive each gangster's role was in the heist.
Okay.
And with 10% going to Werner for the tip and the rest going to Burke. But they got a lot more than they bargained for. The Lufthansa flight was carrying $5 million U.S. cash and an estimated $875,000 in jewelry that night.
Okay.
Which is the equivalent of $25.9 million in today's money.
So I think 50,000 is probably a little less than their share. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. So this wound up making it the largest heist in U.S. soil to happen at that point, and they did it in 46 minutes.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's good organization.
Yep. So Henry...
You would have thought too many cooks in the kitchen, but no, they made it work.
Yeah. Well, they also had... There was...
I feel
speculation that they had inside informants apart from them too, maybe the guards and stuff like that.
I feel like the people at the facility didn't put up much of a fight. They're like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
We don't get paid enough.
Well, and also, it sounds like the FBI had informants in there, so there's probably double agents that were like, yeah, sure, we'll totally let you in the gate.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and were like, bro.
We know who it is.
Yeah.
Surprise, we got you.
So Henry, the man who I didn't fucking do my sources.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
You can just go through your Google history when we're done.
Yes. So Henry, the man who put Burke and Lou in contact, didn't even hear about the successful heist until it hit the news at 10 a.m. that morning. So he had no clue that
it
even
worked.
Done it.
Yeah.
So he met with Burke to head to lunch. And Burke gave him a hug and told him we got it. And then he asked Henry if he thinks Marty Krugerman had told his wife about the robbery. And that's when Henry knew that Burke was going to start picking off members of the crew.
Oh, okay.
Mostly because now there was a lot more money involved, and Marty was claiming that Burke told him that he would get paid $500,000, and Henry knew that Burke loved to kill people, and he would rather murder this man than pay him the money. Because according to Henry, Henry says he'd never personally killed anybody, but he did his fair share of helping hide bodies, and he'd helped hide a minimum 10 people that Burke either killed or had killed.
That's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this is when the trouble starts. The Port Authority knew it was an inside job and had a feeling who may have been in charge, and so the police started tracking Burke's every move. They stationed people around Roberts, tapped phone lines, started tracking people using undercover agents, like helicopters, the works.
Yep.
2 days after the heist, police found a black Ecoline van parked in front of a fire hydrant.
Isn't it supposed to be scrapped?
Yep.
Wasn't that one of their jobs?
It was Stack's only job.
What did you do, Stacks?
Nothing.
He got his $50K and left.
So this was parked right outside of Stack's girlfriend's house instead of being ran through a shredder in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yep.
You had one job, man.
Yep. And naturally, they found all the fingerprints belonging to all of the men.
Terrific.
Because all of them had been in and out of jail for something at some point.
Yeah, it's not like any were anonymous.
Yeah.
Maybe Frank. We don't know.
No, Frank definitely had gone to jail for drug dealing.
Come on, Frank.
Yeah, he spent like 10 years in jail. All of them.
Then we need a nickname out of you, Frank.
Oh, no. I don't know if Frank winds up dead at some point.
Wow. Spoiler alerts.
We'll get to it.
Anyway.
I don't know if... I'm sure he's been in jail. So, I lost my spot. Oh, anyway.
Out in front of a fire hydrant.
Stacks had messed up his only job. Yes, outside of a fire hydrant. And the next day, Stacks Edwards was found with 6 bullet holes in his head.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Burke had sent Angelo Sepe and Tommy DeSimone to do the hit.
Okay.
Yep. So
that doesn't take care of the van problem, but okay.
Nope, but he got, I guess, he got consequences?
Yeah. Don't fuck up around that crazy guy.
So things progressed as normal until the week after Christmas. Tommy DeSimone got the good news that he was going to be inducted into the family, the Lucky Cheese family, and he was being driven to the ceremony by Vario. Tommy was never seen again. Yep. This was allegedly unrelated to the heist.
No, it was fucking exactly related.
No, he had actually killed 2 other members of the Gambino family.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Huh.
They had a hit on him, and Vario was like, that's fine.
Okay. Sacrifice,
I guess.
I feel like this is Final Destination, mobster style.
Yes.
Everyone involved in this is going to die in some way.
So, the investigation was ramping up.
She nervously laughs over there.
The investigation was... Not all of them die.
Oh, great.
So the investigation was ramping up, headed by a man named McDonald. So the gangsters abandoned Roberts for another hangout, because things were, getting hot.
Uh-huh.
And this is where Marty met his demise. Henry got a call from Martin's wife on January 6th that he didn't come home the night before. Martin was found at the new bar with a bullet in the back of his head, and then Lou started to get paranoid and guilty for their heist and all of his friends dying.
As you would.
Mm-hmm. And so he started running his mouth. So he told a friend about the heist. He did this like a month before it happened. He was just like, I feel bad about these things. I need to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
So he confessed to a friend a month before it happened. And then a couple days after the heist, he told his girlfriend, who naturally freaked out and told him he was going to go to jail.
She's not wrong.
Yeah. And then, because he was just so depressed, the dumbass told his story to his favorite bartender. The whole ass story.
It's not a story, it's a confession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not like it mattered. The FBI and police already knew that Lewis Warner's name, and it was given to them by Lufthansa's own security team. So his coworkers read it.
Read it out. All right.
So the FBI's plan was to build a case against Werner strong enough to get him to turn witness for them.
Good luck, but probably easy. I feel like he's on the edge of flipping anyway.
Yeah. But people kept dying. So they kept losing witnesses. On December
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah. Yes, losing witnesses.
Oh, darn, we lost another witness. Someone died.
So on December 18th, they finally found Stax Edwards, and Tommy DeSimone was missing. On December 18th, a close friend and confidant, an associate of Burke's, they must have planned to try to get him to turn on Burke. He wasn't associated with the heist. They just were like, we need this man as a witness. He was found frozen and hogtied in a refrigerated meat truck for stealing $250,000 in fake cocaine scam and stealing some money from the heist from Burke.
Okay.
Burke, yeah.
Did you say a fake cocaine scam?
Yep.
Okay.
It was a $250,000 valued fake
sugar.
cocaine scam. Yes. Well, that's about how much powdered sugar
and
is
that's
now.
how Cake Boss started. Sorry.
But he did steal some money from Burke, and so Burke tortured and hogtied his friend and threw him in the back of a
Black Econoline van.
Nope. That meat trailer, like a refrigerated semi-trailer.
All right.
It took 2 days for his body to thaw to do an autopsy after it was found.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good air conditioning unit then.
So
what brand was that?
Do what?
I said, what brand of trailer was that?
We need that for the global
efficient,
warming.
yeah. In case we have another power outage around here. Speaking of which, this is getting recorded on Monday night because we've had power for like 3 days after not having. Well, we
didn't lose power, but we didn't have the internet or cell phone service at all.
Yeah.
And everybody else around us lost power.
Yes. Yay, ice.
Yep. And there's a lot of people who won't get it turned on for like a week and a half after that storm.
Yeah.
Because our power grid is failing. Anyway, try not to think about those things. So one of Burke's old prison cellmates and his wife was found dead in March of 1979.
Together?
Yes. So they think maybe he was going to be used those for witnesses too. Not just for the heist, but just as a way to try. You have to pile on a bunch of stuff to get mobsters because they're really smart and sneaky. So anyway, they both wound up dead. And then Joe Buda was found dead in May of 1979 after the state tried to get him to turn witness and offered him witness protection. So he was found with a shot to the back of the head, execution style. And then Robert McMohan who was a suspected insider and security guard at JFK. So he wasn't
He's just one of the
involved.
guys. Yeah,
he's one of the insiders. He was also found in May, shot in the back of the head, execution style.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Angelo Seppi, who was responsible for the most witness removals on Burke's behalf.
That's a dangerous term.
Yeah, it's as nice as losing witnesses.
Yes. Yeah.
Witness removal.
Yeah. I'm in the witness removal program. What does that mean?
Witness protection, it's like, the opposite.
Yeah, it's when they don't get protected, they get removed.
So,
that was too long of a laugh. Keep going.
It was. No, I lost my spot. So then Angelo Seppi, who was in the witness removal program, he was found dead in July of 1984, murdered by unknown members of the Lucky Cheese family for robbing Lucky Cheese drug traffickers.
Okay.
And lastly, Jimmy Burke's own son, Frank, was murdered by his own drug dealer in May of 1987.
1987?
Yep.
Oh, you almost made it to my birthday.
Almost. And the investigators did get Henry Hill to turn state witness after he learned that he was the next on the hit list.
Okay.
So his testimony did lead to the arrest of some of New York's most prominent mobsters, including Vario. Henry, his wife, and 2 children entered the witness protection program, but it only lasted a couple of years because Henry kept blowing his own cover.
And then he got put in the witness
removal program.
Yeah.
No, eventually he wrote a book and made appearances on the Howard Stern show.
Okay. Wait, holy shit. How long has Howard Stern been around for?
Oh, no, it gets better. So in this research, the last time that somebody was
real,
arrested for an assassination related to the Mafia was in 2019.
I mean, the Mafia is still around.
Yeah, is still very much prevalent.
How long has the Howard Stern show been a thing?
I don't know, like 25 years? Google it.
Are you sure? Because
No.
the 25 years is barely the 90s.
That's not true. That's simply not true.
Howard Stern. Oh, God, I am not in any position to text. Start.
You made an 8. When? You made like an 8 motion with your mouth. Was it 84?
It's older than we are.
Was it 84?
1985, the Howard Stern Show began airing in New York City's WXRK.
That man has not aged a day. He drinks the blood of children. What the fuck?
He is 69 years old.
No, he's not.
He just turned 69. He has a BA from Boston University and 3 children. Anyway.
Huh.
He'll be 70 next year. 70.
And they say you get more conservative as you age. He's wild. That's my goal.
I have never listened to a full episode of it. I've seen shit ton of clips. I've never listened to a show in my life.
We're just getting all the pop culture taboos out of the way.
I grew up under a rock. I'm not afraid to say it anymore.
Yeah. More like a brick.
Are you done?
A brick. Nope. I have one more paragraph.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was just saying, I felt like you were almost
done.
Yeah.
So McDonald was unable to build any case against Burke. The only person charged...
Wait, who's McDonald?
McDonald was the investigator.
Oh, okay.
The
Sorry.
FBI investigator.
Yep.
He was the one who said that witnesses kept disappearing.
Yes. Yeah.
So McDonald was unable to build any case against Burke. The only person charged with anything in this whole affair was Louis Werner. He was found guilty on May 16th, 1979, of helping to plan and carry out the Lufthansa heist, and the money was never found.
Terrific.
Yep.
And then you have sources
that I'm going to Google.
You're just going to give off the top of your head.
The History Channel.
So this was...
Encyclopedia Britannical, biography.com,
okay.
A&E.com. Don't let me... I can't find the article things. One was just strictly about Henry Hill. The one that was from biography was really interesting. It compared it to the Goodfellows.
Does this have a fun name? Like
the Lufthansa Heist.
Okay.
Yep.
I was going to say, I feel like it needs a title.
Yes, the Lufthansa Heist. I mentioned it a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, you just weren't listening.
No.
I found one article.
You mentioned that name. I just didn't know the heist.
This one is the 5 crime families of the New York City inside the rise and fall of the Mafia.
Is that the 5 Fingers?
No, that's older than this. This one's the Chicago Tribune. When big heist is pulled, a trail of death follows. That was from 1986.
Okay.
And then
written by Howard Stern.
And then Wikipedia.
Okay.
And those are my sources.
Those are lovely sources.
Yep.
What a strange story full of all the dudes' names.
I told you, worst game of telephone ever. Or best game of telephone ever. Seemed like it worked out in the end.
Did it?
For some people.
Everybody ended up in prison or dead, didn't they? Except for one guy?
Yeah, most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like The Departed.
Is that the best game?
Yep.
I feel like that's most mob stories.
Now we have to go watch Goodfellas.
I feel like it's how most mob stories end.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was short and sweet.
Was it? Oh, wow.
For your standards, yeah.
Do you have a dad joke?
I have a bad one I heard.
Go for it. Is it the one our daughter told us?
No.
Okay,
no.
go for it.
It's not good.
That's fine.
Can I preface
this
that?
This whole podcast isn't good. Just go for it.
Why was Cinderella such a bad soccer player?
Why?
She kept running away from the ball.
I'm going to push you over.
You asked for a shitty joke.
Yep.
You got a shitty joke.
That you gave me exactly what I wanted.
For the first time in a long...
Oh, that's simply not true. Anyway, if you've made it this far...
You're doing better than I am.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Have a wonderful week.
And if you're listening to this Tuesday morning, if you're one of those people, good on you. Also, the bonus episode on Patreon will probably be releasing tonight if you're listening to this tomorrow.
Sure.
The 28th-ish.
It's been chaos, guys.
This goddamn short month. Whose idea was it?
Some asshole.
It's been researched and it's written and hopefully recorded and released tomorrow.
Okay.
So check Patreon.
Sounds great.
Whoa.
Don't disrespect me.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Oof, that was terrible. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMSTPod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon
at Tell Me Something Terrible.